Asalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Related to Dawah, I would like to talk a little bit about doing Dawah with Christians because of some of the religious beliefs that are present in Christian communities or the way that Christian communities work. So first of all, within Christianity there are many different sects, so you have to be aware of the person you're talking to, what it is that they believe. So sometimes when I speak to someone who's Christian, like first of all when I speak to someone who's not Muslim and is asking about Islam or something, or we're talking about religion in general, I usually ask them, do you believe in anything? And then I try to ask them what they believe in. It's less important to me about which specific religion they associate themselves with, and more important about what their actual individual beliefs are like, so that I can understand where they're coming from. So for example, if there is a Christian person who tells me I come from a Christian family, usually in Hungary we have people who are Catholics, but there are other minority groups as well, and they will tell me, yeah, we believe in God, and we believe in Jesus, and we believe in Mary, and other things they'll say. Sometimes we go to the church. Normally these are the but some people go every week, which is very different from someone who maybe goes just for Christmas or just for Easter. So there are special services during the holidays, but there are some services every week. Just like our Friday prayer, there is the Sunday prayer for them, and they usually have a lecture within that, like it's a lecture that they do, and then they pray together. So it's like our khutbah, let's say. So when you speak to Christians, you can just ask them what they believe in, so you can find kind of the common ground, and also like what's the difference. If you want to call them to Islam or talk to them about it, you can say, well, we also really respect Jesus and Mary, and we believe in them, and we believe to follow their example because they believed in God and they worshipped God. But we believe that there's only one God. We believe in Allah. We believe that He's the only true one God, and we worship Him only. So this is the difference. In a Dawah, it's very, very important to distinguish the base ground of what we're working from. A lot of people don't know much about Islam, so you must explain to them that the first and foremost important message of Islam is that there's only one God. Years ago, we had a very expert Dawah trainer come to Budapest, and he gave us a Dawah training for a whole day, and he said that there are two takeaways that were most important. One of them was that you must give the message of Islam over when you're doing Dawah. And sometimes people come and they ask so many complicated questions, and you start going in to explain, but it's like this and it's like that, and it's not like this and it's not like that, and you forget the most important message, which was about worshipping one God. You didn't tell them that. You didn't tell them that, by the way, the whole point is that we believe in God and we worship Him and we serve Him. So this is a great place to start the conversation. If someone asks you a question, you can approach it in two ways. If you guys have a lot of time and you're chatting anyway, like obviously you can go into that, I would still be like, for sure, but I do have to tell you that, the most important thing for us is that we only worship one God, like something, like put that in there, and then you continue to answer the question. The other thing is that you might not have a lot of time. If it's someone like meets you on the street, asks you a question, but you guys are going to be rushing, running, or getting off the tram at some point, or the bus or something, this is not a place to have a half an hour Dawah conversation, especially if they're asking you a deep question. So you have different options. One option is you could say, here's my Instagram, here's my WhatsApp, here's my whatever, let's talk more, let's meet up for coffee during the week and I can explain that to you. Or we have, you can invite them to an event at in our communities, but it's not very likely that someone who many people don't really want to go to a religious space because they don't necessarily have knowledge about what that would be like. They might think that they'll be treated as outsiders, or that they won't be very welcome, or that people will be judgmental about them because they don't practice that religion. So it's important that you tell them, like, okay, here's my contact, let's sit down for coffee and we can talk about it more. Like, I can't explain this in a few minutes, I'm sorry. Or you can tell them like very basic points. You can say, the most important thing is that we worship one God. You go back to the main point. Then you carry on. You might answer a little bit of the question, but you might say, actually, I can really recommend the lecture of this person, the sheikh, this person, this website, this thing, or this organization. You can contact them, you can email them, they can explain more, you can send them on to do the research themselves. This is also something you can do. The second most important thing that we were told, no, actually it was that you don't necessarily sit and, no, this was one of the things, you don't necessarily sit and have an argument or a debate about something randomly on the street. Like, it's not the time and place, unless you literally did a stand where you're handing out leaflets and you're doing dawah. That's very different. The second most important thing was that it doesn't matter who you are, you can do dawah in many ways. The fact that you're present as a Muslim person in society is already dawah for you. If you're wearing hijab, or you've grown out the beard, or you wear a specific dress, or you pray visibly, like people know about you, like in your workplace or university or something, they know that you're a Muslim, they know that you practice, and you even introduce yourself, like you say, like I'm a Muslim or whatever. People know about you. You can also say, like, if you want to do extra dawah, you could say, like, by the way, if you guys ever have any questions about Islam, I'm happy to answer, or I'm happy to help you guys find the answer, because I'm not a scholar, but I know something, so we can talk about it. I'm open to that, but it's up to you. So you put it out there, because some people don't want to ask. Sometimes they feel like maybe it's a difficult topic for you, maybe you would be sensitive about it, or you don't want to talk about it, so you can put that out there. But that is really important, that you can do dawah in so many ways. You can post things, you can do dawah in your home, with your friends, in your community, with non-Muslims. You can do it just by being there, present. If you learn about your own religion and learn to behave in a better way, to basically, you are the nur, right? You are the nur, like presenting and spreading the nur, the light of Allah, because you learn these values and you present those values as well. This is something that is such an important way to do dawah. So it's not necessarily about like taking a training course and then standing in the streets and getting people to ask you intense questions. Dawah is in many forms, and you can do it. And the important thing in Islam is that you have an amount of knowledge. Spread this amount of knowledge. Don't be afraid to spread this amount of knowledge. And I can tell you, listen, I know nothing about this stone here, but I know about this walnut, so I can talk to you about the walnut. And if you want to know about the stone, I'll find you someone who knows about it. That's it. You are meant to just think about the things that you know, spread the things that you know. This is beneficial knowledge. This is something that has a lot of barakah. You will be very blessed. Allah will bless that for you and give you a lot of reward for it. That what you know, you share it. What you don't know, you should have the humbleness, the humble character to say, I don't know about that. I'll have to ask someone else. I can research and find out for you. Or you can simply say, I don't know how to explain that. Sometimes people ask questions and you're really like, whoa, that's a really good question. I don't know how to answer that question. Sometimes people ask me something and I know the answer internally, like I know why I'm doing this, or I know what I believe in, but I can't explain it very well. So I'm like, let me think. Sometimes you can gain a bit of time and think about it and come back to them later on. So this would be some dawah tips for today. Good luck in your journey to do dawah. Asalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.